Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Libra Sun and a Taurus Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, as far as this goes, they are incompatible, these signs. They are inconjunct by sign. You look at them, they do have one thing in common. They're both ruled by Venus. They both are connected with beauty, and this person might be strongly associated with having peace and tranquility in their lives. And the thing is, Libra Sun is about more extroversion. It's a masculine sign. It's more sociable. It's engaging. It could be more I guess you could say more about interaction with others, partnerships, and relationship oriented. While Taurus rising is a feminine sign, it's introverted. It's more, I think Taurus is more about privacy and really it's Libra Sun can be unpredictable and spontaneous due to the fact it's an air sign. While you have Taurus rising's more pragmatic, and it's more about premeditation and planning ahead. Taurus rising can move very deliberately and methodically, and I'm sure a lot slower than the average Libra Sun would work. So this kind of having Taurus rising will make this person a little bit more methodical and really more deliberate. There'll be more stylness. This person won't be probably. Air signs tend to be more cheerful, and I'm not saying that Taurus rising isn't. He doesn't have ability to be cheerful, but having a Taurus rising will make the person maybe a little bit less cheerful compared to the average Libra Sun, and will be a little bit more serious, I think, when you as far as having the Taurus rising goes, and how makes them more serious than the typical Sun in Libra. Now, when you look at the sun sign and the ascendant in a natal chart, the sun sign represents our basic wants. And the rising sign or ascendant can represent the manner or method in which one attains these basic wants. So with the sun in Libra, the person's basic wants may be connected with partnerships, relationships, wanting things equitable and fair, things connected with beauty, things that are, as far as Libra goes, things that are, I guess you could say, harmony and justice and inner peace. And this could be a person that may find these basic wants through the Taurus rising way, and it may be done in a very methodical and deliberate fashion. And it'll be done with a little bit more premeditation as opposed to the typical Sun in Libra. And it may be done even through with the partnerships and relationships. This person may go after them with a lot of persistence and dogged Taurus rising effort and a lot of tenacity. And this could be someone that Taurus rising could be somewhat obstinate in one of the negative expressions of the sign, and they may need to curb that in terms of their relationships. If somebody is out there potentially for him or her, and after a certain amount of time the person is not interested, Taurus rising, and this needs to know that maybe enough is enough, and you can only be so persistent with certain things. And the Libra basic wants may be attained perhaps through a Taurus-like profession, such as being a pawnbroker, a stockbroker, accountant, something strongly associated with money, where money figures prominently, or being astute and finances. Such as and this person may also incorporate maybe the Libra and Taurus energy into some kind of work, such as like being an art appraiser, for example. You're looking at Libra things connected with art, and also the Taurus rising, their knack for understanding things of a monetary nature. So anyway, the first, it's important to look at the aspect that is made between the Sun in Libra and the Taurus Ascendant, as this could indicate if the energies are integrating well or not. Now, in many cases, these signs are in conjunct by sign, but in many cases you can have an inconjunct between these energies by aspect. Now, let's say you have a Libra Sun at 17 degrees and a Taurus rising at 19 degrees. This would form an inconjunct aspect, which is adverse and adversarial, and it could indicate the difficulty integrating these energies. And even if the person is not cognizant of these astrological placements, is that this person may sense that what they're projecting outwardly in their outward demeanor is strongly different than what is going on inside, and this could cause, and they may feel somewhat misconstrued or misunderstood by others, which can cause some inner exasperation and tension. And the same thing could happen. You can have an out-of-sign opposition take place between these two signs. Let's say you have Libra Sun at 29 degrees. And you have a Taurus Ascendant at 1 degree. That would form an out-of-sign opposition, which is adverse and adversarial. And like I said, with the inconjunct, this person may have feelings of perhaps feeling misconstrued or misunderstood, thus causing some exasperation and tension inside the person. Now, on the positive side, you could have an out-of-sign trine aspect take place as well. Now, let's say you have, let's take a Libra Sun at 1 degree and Taurus Ascendant at 29 degrees. This would form an out-of-sign trine aspect, and it's auspicious. And even though you still have the incompatibility by sign, you have an aspect that is favorable, and those energies may integrate very well a little bit better, as opposed to either having no aspect between the two or an adverse aspect, like I was talking to you about before, the inconjunct or the opposition. And anyway, it's important to look at the house placement of the Sun in Libra, because even though the Sun in Libra's energy may be suppressed to some degree due to the Taurus Ascendant, the energy of that Sun in Libra may still figure somewhat prominently in that particular house that it resides in. Let's say you have the Sun in Libra in the 5th house. Well, if you have it in the 5th house, then you may the Libra Sun energy and the charm and the fairness and being equitable and tact and diplomacy may come out strongly in matters connected with children, if applicable, and in matters in their things of a fun nature, and things, hobbies, their creativity, perhaps, and it matters with creativity. If they're involved with, say, a creative project with somebody, for example, they might show strongly that strong Libra tact and diplomacy, and may show it in romance, romantic partners as well. And anyway, let's say that if the Sun in Libra resides in the 6th house, this person might show that strong ability for Libra compromise in matters at work, say with fellow employees, and having that Libra balance as far as health goes, maybe a very good balanced diet, perhaps. And I am serious. I'm being somewhat facetious, but still that could be serious, because Libra has the ability to balance things and show equilibrium, and they could very well be that kind of person that has that balanced diet, and show this and also in areas as far as service to others, and in showing a lot of that, maybe that Libra attack, that charm and diplomacy in doing so. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the Sun in Libra and a Taurus Ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the Sun in Libra and a Gemini Ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.